everyone, welcome back for another project with the Boise Art Museum. Today's project is in celebration of the exhibition Ceramics and Textiles from the Southwest, Gifts of the Carly Collection. This exhibition features artworks from the Southwest such as vessels, sculpture, and textiles that work with really gorgeous patterns and really beautiful vibrant colors. Today we are making our very own cardboard looms that we are then going to weave on. What's really fun about making your own loom is you can use a variety of materials to weave on it. So let's get creative and let's get started. The materials you're going to need for today's project are a piece of cardboard. You can cut this out of an old box or even an old cereal box. Some yarn or string, a drawing tool such as a pencil or a pen, some scissors, tape, some glue, something small that you can use to weave with. If you have a larger plastic sewing needle on hand that you can thread yarn through, that's perfect. And then you're going to need the materials that you're going to use to actually weave. And this is where you can get really creative. If you have some old t-shirts laying around that you want to cut up, you can use that, or some old fabric. Or you can use colorful paper like I have here, or even paper from magazines and newspapers. If you want to use natural materials, you can use long grasses and twigs from outside. Or if you want to weave with a more traditional material, you can use yarn. Before we begin weaving, we need to make our cardboard loom. The first step to making your cardboard loom is making marks along the upper and bottom edges. You want these marks to just be about an inch or so apart, but it doesn't have to be exact, so you can just eyeball it. I just finished making marks along my upper and bottom edge of my piece of cardboard. If you want to be really exact about this, you can use a ruler to make sure that they're perfectly even, but you don't have to. Next, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to make small cuts on each of my marks. I finished making my cuts, and you'll notice that I only cut it about an inch down from the top and the bottom. You don't have to cut very far. Now it's time for me to make the warp of my loom. The warp is what you're going to use to actually weave through with your materials. For your warp, you're either going to need yarn or string. First, choose which side you want to be the back of your loom. Then you're going to take one end of your yarn and tape the yarn into place, like that. Then take your yarn and you're going to slide it through the first slit on the upper part of your cardboard. You're going to pull it down your piece of cardboard to the bottom and then pull it through that slit, so it creates a line. Then flip your cardboard over, pull your piece of yarn or string to the slit next to the starting one, flip it over, pull it down to the bottom, and there you go. Keep on doing this all the way across your piece of cardboard. When you're done threading your yarn or string through your piece of cardboard, it should look something like this. Take your yarn, cut, and then take another piece of tape and tape your yarn down on the back. So 2 pieces of yarn should be taped down. So this is what our cardboard loom looks like. Now it's time to start using your loom to weave. The techniques I'm about to show you here can be used with any materials. So I'm going to use some colorful paper, but like I mentioned earlier, you can use old fabric if you have it, or twigs from outside, or some long grasses, whatever you have on hand. So to prepare my paper for weaving, I'm going to cut it into about 1/2 inch to 1 inch wide strips. Your paper strips don't have to be exact. They can all be a little bit different. You can even cut wavy patterns into your paper. That actually makes it a lot more fun. Okay, so I finished cutting my paper strips, and as you can see, they're all a little bit different. Some are wider than others, some are thinner, and some I even cut into fun wavy shapes. So now it's time to start weaving. Start by taking one of your strips of paper, and then on your loom, you're going to first go under the first string, then you're going to grab your paper and go over the next. And then, you guessed it, under the next string, over the next, and you're going to finish it off by going back under the last string. Repeat this step with as many pieces of paper as you can fit onto your loom with as many colors as you want. Okay, so this is what my loom now looks like that I have all of my paper strips woven in. You may have noticed while weaving that some of your paper was moving around. This is where our glue comes in handy. To help keep your pieces of paper in place, lift up each piece of paper and put a small dot of glue on your loom. Press your paper down and that'll help hold your paper into place. Do this for each piece of paper on each side. Now that I've finished gluing down my pieces of paper, I'm going to trim the edges so that they're all the same length as my loom. All done! You can display your woven paper or whatever materials you used on your cardboard loom however you want. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to glue a piece of string to the back so that I can then hang it in my house. Ta-da! Ready to hang and be on display. Next, I'm going to show you how to use the cardboard loom you just made to weave yarn onto. Using the steps from earlier, make another cardboard loom. Choose some yarn to start with and cut a portion of it off. Then, if you have a needle, thread your yarn into that and tie it off, or you can use a small object like a kitchen match as a replacement needle. So this is really similar to how we wove our paper into our previous loom. What you do is you take your needle and you use it to thread under and over and under all across your loom. Once you get to the end of your loom, pull your yarn through so you have just a tail hanging off like that. Then take your needle and go back across the other side. When you pull through, make sure not to pull too tightly, otherwise your weaving will be warped. Keep it a little bit loose. Repeat this step until you run out of yarn. Once you run out of one color while weaving, go ahead and cut the yarn off your needle or whatever you're using to weave. Choose your next color. Tie the two ends of yarn together. Thread your new yarn into your needle or tie it onto your weaving tool and continue weaving. Once you're all done weaving on your loom and you've filled it up, tie it off the loose ends and tuck them into your weaving, and then cut off any excess yarn. To then get your weaving off your loom, turn your loom over and cut the string down the center across the back. Pull your strings out from the slits on your cardboard. Then tie the ends together so you can get a better look. I'm taking these two strings that are next to each other and I'm tying them together into a little knot. Repeat this step all across your weaving on both sides. Once you've tied all the knots along each end, cut off any excess string to tidy it up. Ta-da! There is my yarn weaving off of my cardboard loom. Thank you so much for exploring both of these weaving techniques with me today. I had so much fun talking about ceramics and textiles of the Southwest with you and exploring the processes that the artists use to create the artworks in the exhibition. I hope you'll have a great day.